Welcome to the e-resource series. In tutorial 1, we reviewed the basic rule for subject-verb agreement and focused on short subjects. In tutorial 2, we will look at the subject-verb agreement for long subjects. So let's take a look at this example from tutorial 1. Can you identify the subject? Well, as we mentioned in tutorial 1, the article is a singular subject and it's short. Have a look at the second example. Can you identify the verb and the subject? This one's a little more difficult. We have our verb here, and everything before the verb is considered the full subject. Now take a look at the verb. Is it singular or plural? Well, it's singular, which means that the subject is singular. But there's so many words in the subject. How do we know which one affects the agreement? Well, we need to look for the base subject, and in this sentence, the article is the base subject. Now, why is this? Well, if we look after the article, we will see something called a relative clause. Relative clauses usually begin with relative pronouns such as which, where, when, that. And the purpose of a relative clause is to give extra information. So our rule is that if you identify the base subject, you should ignore the additional information such as relative clauses, as they do not affect the agreement. Now, long subjects cause a lot of problems for accuracy. Let's have a look at another example. Identify the subject and verb in this sentence. Our verb is singular, and everything before that verb is the full subject. So based on what we learned in the previous example, where is the base subject? Well, one is our base subject. Now there's no relative clause in the sentence, but we do have something called a prepositional phrase. These start with prepositions such as in, on, at. Prepositional phrases following the subject do not usually affect agreement. Now, do not usually means there are some exceptions to this rule, but we can learn this as a general rule in our English. So, let's check our accuracy with subject-verb agreement in long subjects. It's time to take the quiz.